Love that graphic there. Right now, much of the country is at risk of rolling blackouts, according to the North American Electric Reliability Council. Texas, along with parts of the central United States, stretching from the Great Lakes all the way to Louisiana, as well as New England and the Carolinas, are at risk due to coal and natural gas supply shortages. Not shocking at all there.
Yeah, and joining us now to discuss is former EPA Chief of Staff Mandy, I'm apologizing in advance, Gunasekara.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yes, thank you. With the last name like Zish, I want to get those last names right.
Last name too.
All right, great to have you with us. All right, let's dive in. This is a really serious topic. I mean, should Americans at this point? I hate to fearmonger. I don't want to make this about that. But should Americans be preparing? Should we be buying generators, extra flashlights? What should we be doing and considering right now?
Yeah, they should. I mean, this administration from day one has initiated a war on U.S. energy, and in particular, coal, oil, and natural gas. And that provides 80% of total energy usage. When it comes to electricity, that is 61% of energy usage. So Americans are going to have to take some of these matters into their own hands, because the Biden administration and Democrats at the local level have been ignoring their responsibility to shore up grid systems, especially going into the winter season, to ensure that Americans maintain access to affordable and reliable energy. They seem to have forgotten that as a major responsibility. And look, it's not because of natural shifts in the quote unquote market. This is by design by the Biden administration, trying to shutter coal, trying to limit the development of natural gas here in the United States. And adding insult to injury, they're willing to go abroad and beg for places like Venezuela and other countries run by despots, and people have no standards for humanitarian values, to get them to bring their oil to our country. So there's an oil side of the equation, but there's also an electricity side of the equation. And the report that you referenced from NERC is what Americans should be paying attention to going into the winter season. And my biggest concern is we are talking about shortages on the front end of the winter season. It's just coming upon us. Usually we're having these conversations in the middle of the winter season after a major weather storm hits. But right now, everyone is already concerned, and folks need to plan accordingly, because this administration has set aside this very important responsibility.
And Mandy, I think a lot of people don't realize that the reason we're even seeing prices at the pump, that they're a little lower at this point, is because China is the biggest consumer of oil in the world, excuse me, and they're on lockdown right now. So that's why the Biden administration, they're trying to take credit for this. And then in the meantime, they're pushing this Green New Agenda. They're talking out of both sides of their mouth. On the one side, they're saying, no, we didn't declare war on the fossil fuel industry, but they shut down the Keystone Pipeline. They're strangling the oil industry with those EPA regulations. They developed a refinery on the Gulf Coast of Texas for exporting 2 million barrels a day. And now they want to push us to the green agenda, get the electric cars, but we don't even have the grid to sustain it if we all were to go out and buy electric cars right this very minute.
Well, yeah, you're right. You look at what happened in California. They're trying to ban the internal combustion engine or gas-powered vehicles. And a week or two after they passed that as a policy at the state level, they started sending out messages telling people to curtail or stop using their electricity because they didn't have enough electricity to support the demand. So this administration are really bad planners, and it's because, like you rightfully point out, they have sold out to an extreme green agenda. And look, as someone who worked at the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency in the Trump administration, where we balance meeting energy demand while maintaining environmental protections, this extreme green agenda is completely unnecessary for improving the environment. We can have it all, and we did a couple of years ago. It's just become about politics instead of technological realities and doing what's right by the people that the president, all the way on down to local Democrat officials, actually represent. And there are tangible alternatives on the renewable front, but they're doing this all wind and solar approach. They're not considering things like biomass. I'm from Mississippi, where we grow trees very well, yet they won't entertain things like biomass. They will ship that abroad, but they won't consider using it here and again, in a place like Mississippi, we have it right here that could lend itself to better energy security and a stable electricity supply. But this administration, all they're listening to are their political allies, and they don't necessarily care about the real tangible harm they're causing to the rest of America.